Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We're moving into spring around here at WNST, and the intelligent conversations are about to become wise conversations. I've been plugging this and promoting this a little bit, and we're going to do a big welcome, and we're going to have all sorts of folks on from Wise, talking about nutrition and talking about rewards and talking about kids going to school and charity work and local stuff. But I come at this honest. Rob Santoni is the local maven over in Fullerton, who a couple years ago, when his family, the Santoni family, where I shopped in Highlandtown as a young lad, and all the Mars supermarkets that have become the Wise supermarkets, to all of this. Rob, we've had a friendship, I guess, going back a quarter of a century, right? I mean, your family, your parents, and me and my wife were close as neighbors for a long time. And I remembered seeing you at the Dundalk Heritage Fair. I want to tell a story on you here, a Wise story, by the way. I saw you at the Heritage Fair, and you say, I'm with Wise now, and all the sponsorships locally went. And you know how much I love the Heritage Fair in Dundalk. It's my blood, right? And you told me what a great thing it was for your life that you went to work for Wise. And we started talking about it, and it was marketing this and sports that and Baltimore Positive and all of this. And here we are a couple years later, and I'm welcoming Wise Markets in as a sponsor. But more than that, I'm going to be telling stories and cooking your food in my kitchen with my wife. But I've been shopping in Wise a long time. You know that. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. There's nothing more positive than being on Baltimore Positive with you.
Well, hey, that's very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. I guess big picture and stuff, this has been a crazy year. I mean, I reached to you. We're Facebook friends, and last year, masking up. I have my mask sitting right here on the desk, right? Masking up and being afraid to shop, and what your associates were going through, what your vendors were going through, where I was begging you for toilet paper and Purell, and all that we went through a year ago. We laugh a little bit. We lost a lot of people. I mean, it's been a devastating year. But in your industry, I would think that this is your lifer, man. You were a kid, putting boxes in your parents' place when you were a kid. I mean, this has been unlike anything, even for a company like Wise, right?
Yeah, it's, I've been doing it, like you said, since forever. Nine years old, riding delivery trucks. And
what's your first memory? I mean, when you were 3 years old, did you
no
work in the deli or something in Highlandtown or not?
First memory was my dad would drag me into the store during the summer days, and on some Saturdays during the winter, and I would ride this beat up delivery van that we had. And it was from that experience in those days I learned every bad word I know.
Well, you were on the Highlandtown route. I mean, there's no doubt
right.
about it.
No, it was great. It was, from that point, I saw the type of people that Dad hired, the way he treated them, and folks that really made a career out of working with, our family business. And I see the same thing over here, with Wise.
And by the way, you told me all this the first time. I mean, I just remember how happy you were, because it's stressful having your own business. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in it, and I appreciate why a bigger company working with a small local company, which is what your family and what the Mars family was here for many, many years, right?
Right. So that's where some of our Wise leadership, who's been born and raised in the area, knew this landscape, but they also knew of a lot of guys like me that were lifers in the business. And, you said that I told you how excited I was that I landed with Wise. I really couldn't think of, being happy if it was any other chain. If I, as far as retail grocery goes, this company is like, it's made up of 12 districts. It's 200 stores, $4 billion. Wow. But it's 12 intimate districts, and every district feels like it's a medium-sized independent. They give the store managers autonomy to, get engaged with the, community.
You're always doing stuff locally, man.
Yeah, so
store, right?
That's right up my alley, Ness, because that's what we did when, my family, we were in business with Santoni's. That's what a lot of the guys and gals that we hired when we bought 5 of the Mars stores over 5 years ago. It's amazing to think it's been that long, but the folks that we picked up from that acquisition and other, independent type people. They're just wired different. Those that came from that intimate setting really transitioned well into Weis because they are all about community. Even though it was 100 and I don't know 64 stores when I joined them, and now we're I think over 200, 201. We just opened up a couple, like weeks apart.
I only remember the one in Perry Hall because I lived in Perry Hall at the turn of the century, and so I was shopping in that Weis, in 1998, 99. It was in my neighborhood. It's where I lived,
Right in Perry Hall. So yeah, that store we know that store is store 123. It's on the corner road in Perry Hall. It's a great store, but I remember that store opening when we had a store in Perry Hall, and there was 3 stores in Perry Hall: Santoni's, Weis, and Mars. And now
all family businesses.
All family businesses. And 5 years ago when we bought the Mars, and we also acquired some food lines, like months after the Mars stores were transitioned, it was like 39 stores in like 70 days we opened up. So that's how we grew, to 200 stores so quickly in that period. But, joining the company, it was from the first day, I knew that they were all about community, all about their associates. And it wasn't, store managers had to look for permission to get involved with the, community. They really encouraged that. And it was just natural for me. And since we acquired the 5 Mars stores and a lot of food lines around here, the Baltimore market, especially in Baltimore County, where we have like 15 stores, it has become our most robust, fastest growing market in the entire company, and especially here around eastern Baltimore County, we have stores
everywhere. I've been in and out of them, knowing about this relationship, and they're all. They're all places I've driven by forever, right? And I go in, and some of them are small and boutique from the old Mars, and then there's yours that you were a Kmart, right? That your space, is that correct?
Yep. My current store on Bel Air Road in the Beltway, exit 32, is was the old Kmart, and that sat idle for years and years. And I used to live 1 mile behind where the store sits. And
it's literally your neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I could walk to work if we ever open up that store. And lo and behold, here I am.
Well, my son went to Perry Hall. I spent a good dozen years in his formative days living in 2 different locations on each side of 43. My parents are buried at Gardens of Faith, so I'm kind of always out there. The best bakeries are on Bel Air and Harford Road. Anybody knows anything about Baltimore knows that too. So I'm always up and down and stopping in your store. And your store's become sort of my go-to over the last year and a half, given our relationship and also the fact that I've enjoyed shopping at your place. And I don't even give praise to your place. I was in the Middle River location. Now, I call that the Highway because that's where the Highway movie theater where I saw The Man with the Golden Gun back in 1973. My father lived in the apartments back there. And I told you, my father worked at Pantry Pride. We went through this, right? My father was my Nestor Sr., my Venezuelan father, worked at Pantry Pride and at Mars. The only jobs he had in America in the 60s and 70s when I was a boy. We talked about this with King Syrup. Remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we like King Syrup. But your location, I was in Middle River last summer, and I was, you know what? It was when Al Sifu was shooting the Robert Irvine thing. I had a couple of hours to kill before he was shooting it, before the fire, and Godspeed, Chad, let's get you open this summer, get some crabs going for my crab cake tour. And I went in, and we fell in love with your. It's like a 5-pepper chicken, like a not blackened, but like garlic pepper chicken spice. And I know I hit you up about this, and we fell in love with it with tacos, and we ate it last summer. Then we couldn't find it anymore, and we asked, the butcher in Middle, and he came out. And my wife, never been happier about $5 worth of chicken in her life. And I think to get to know your stores a little bit. Your business has changed so much store to store. I see like what's popular in Perry Hall might not be popular at it in Catonsville, right? Like the stores are all different. And I would think from a computerized standpoint, it's a different industry for somebody like you. Because I go into different stores and I see different stuff. Specials are all the same. I still get my bananas for 59 cents, because I'm always getting bananas and blueberries and strawberries when you see me, because that's what I live on, strangely enough. But the customer service. I mean, I had one of your associates, I'm a knucklehead. My wife's out of town and I got lemons and limes and all the things with the little code. And I'm always intimidated by self-checkout, right? And you got people, they actually help me. They use my card. I know my card number now. My wife put our home phone number, the number nobody knows, on our number. So I have to remember my home phone number now that I don't give to anybody. But I got points. I'm getting gas out of the deal too, right?
Yeah. So, that is one of our strongest, assets, are the people. And that service that you get, that, it's not put on, that's trained from day one. Let's face it, Nestor, anybody can sell peas, right? Anybody can sell bananas, right?
Your seafood guys yell at me every time, and I'm just in there looking like, seafood, you got to look. I don't know what you got. I'm looking, and I'm seeing some hake and some signature crab cakes. I know I've been told that you guys are doing crab cakes as I'm doing this crab cake tour, so you and I are going to have a cookout with Patty.
The crab cake, I'll send you one. I have a couple things I'm going to send you. All right? We have.
That I haven't already had?
Yeah, so we sell a store brand raw crab cake, $5. Okay, look, it's not lump, but it is the best $5 crab cake. They are delicious. You put them on a potato roll, they're excellent.
I'm a fried crab cake guy. So I'm about to go on a Gucci tour. I'm going to teach people about True Blue and the Maryland Blue. We're going to eat crab cakes all summer long. I'm doing them all, man. My partners at Fadley's and my partners at Costas, and I know you've had both of them. They're shipping, but I'm going to be doing a crab cake every week, featured with conversation, trying to bring people together over beer and a crab cake, maybe some oysters, maybe some chips, like all of that. And I'm going to move this thing around. Mayor Scott's going to join me at Coco's, I believe. So we're going to begin this journey. Johnny O is going to be joining me at somewhere Pappas, Baltimore County. I don't know, but we're going to be doing this. And so I'm going to do your crab cake. We're going to figure it all out and make a big stink about how we do this, because I fry mine, and every time they give me a Gucci crab cake with the colossal, and I bring it home and I sit it in a frying pan in olive oil, and I say, you don't want me putting a picture of what I'm cooking a crab, because my crab cakes, as they were sent out, they ain't pretty. You know what I mean? I just eat them. They don't need to be perfect for me. They taste good.
Right. So I'll get you the crab cake. All right, the best $5 one you'll have. Okay, very tasty. But something else we're doing. All right, we're talking about independent grocers and how I've transitioned to the big chain, right, with still the small town feel, independent feel to it. There's a independent that we all know here in Baltimore, or just over the Baltimore County line, Baltimore City, Bell Garden Byway, right? Years and years in business. Well, the owner decided to exit the business, but I was able to get her to give me the name of this famous sub they have down there. It was called the Bell Garden Sub, and it's an Italian sub that'll knock your socks off. So we're selling it at all Weis locations with the secret recipe, with the name on it, so the sub lives on. And I can sell 700 subs in 1 week, Nestor. That brand, with her customers coming up to my store to buy that sub.
What's on it? Magic? What does it have in it?
I'll have to give it to you. I'm not going to give it.
All right, well, I'm going to eat one. I'm going to eat it on the air. I got to get a hat. I got to get a shirt, I mean, I look good in red. Yeah, I would look good in that hat. I'm going to come see you this week. I'm almost out of groceries around here. Rob Santoni's here from Weis Markets. They're our newest sponsor. We're going to be having Weis conversations along with our intelligent conversations around here. Rob runs the Fullerton location. We're going to be having lots and lots of folks on. Now, you were saying something about the hat.
Yeah. So no, I'll get you this. I did hear you talk the other day about somebody giving you that, a hat. Maybe it was Cole Roofing or something. I don't know.
I have hats everywhere here. You know what I'm calling it? So I'm MLY. I'm going to plug a couple of sponsors. Oh, see that? And that would keep my beverage chilly, right?
Right.
Okay,
And
I'm fine. I'm good with that.
we'll do wise conversations back here. How's
Strategic
that?
Factory will take care of that for me in a heartbeat. We'll knock that out, man. I'll call Keith on that. So my friends at MOI have worked with me for a new desk and a chair. My body's been killing me. I know you're a runner. You're running the Boston Marathon again?
Yep, a few
How
times.
many have you done now?
I did 3. Last year's was canceled, and that's coming up in October. And then there's another one, next year. So
How often do you go out and run 26.2 miles? I mean, how often does your body let you do that? Because you're old like me, man.
well, Boston is the one I like to go to. So I'm at least doing it once a year. But I would like to get 2.
How is that hill they talk about? Like, tell me about that.
Heartbreak Hill. It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
I've
It is
walked
bad.
it. I mean, I've been there and seen this is Heartbreak Hill. I'm like, what mile marker is that?
So when you watch Boston play on Monday, I think they had
They're wearing
these
yellow uniforms. Yeah.
yellow with the Boston logo,
Mm-hmm.
yellow and blue. The same letters that Boston Marathon uses. I think it's an Adidas shirt or something like that. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Rob Santoni's here. I want to give him some love from Weis. They're our newest partner. I could talk about the bananas at 59 cents or the recipes. I was going to be like a wise guy and pull out my milk because I've been drinking the organic milk. And when I bring it out, I sit it on the set and then it sits out and I'm showing it off, but it actually has milk in it. And then my cat wants it because she likes the milk. But I've been picking up a lot of meats and grilling at home and cooking at home. And one of the things that I think we're going to be doing on social, because my wife and I do so much cooking at home, and this, you've walked my wife and I around your store a handful of times. We're always into the legumes. We're always into the produce. I'm wild about produce, right? Like I bought some Tessemae's dressing. I'm giving a local plug here.
Yep.
I got this avocado ranch. And since COVID began and you started seeing me with the mask and my hair getting all hammerjacked up, I've really spent a lot of time, not just in your store, but in grocery stores, doing a lot of shopping because my wife hasn't been so much into it with COVID. And I I've fallen in love with grocery stores almost like I did CD stores, where I would go through looking for, that Aerosmith bootleg I couldn't find or whatever. And I've just found so many products. I bought a dressing. I don't even know what it's called, but I know you would know it's a line that was some apple cider vinaigrette dressing, some old recipe. You know what I'm talking about?
Not the Brags.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. I looked at it and I'm like, I'm going to try this. I'm 52. I've eaten everything. I've been everywhere. I'm really into variety right now. Like I'm really into, oh, that sounds good. I'm going to try that. And I'm really into new things lately. And I find that grocery stores are one place I go every week where I literally can't try every dressing. I can't try every marinade. I hit you up for this Quebec rub that you gave me for the chicken that you guys do in your butcher department, because I'm always into doing new stuff. And I would think working there, you have to be the same way, right? I mean, just eating every pastry in the store that I was in over at UMBC the other day, I came out with this lace, this white chocolate lace. I'm doing too much. It's amazing I'm staying skinny, dude, because you have a lot of things to pick from. I get paralyzed in your bakery, especially.
Yeah, we do have great. There's everything good about Wise. It's quality and freshness, and every store has the same lines. They maybe have reduced variety in some of those smaller stores, but that's the goal, Nestor, to keep you tantalized. Every time you come in.
My wife found these coconut cookies in your place that we've only found in your place, and she's been gone 3 weeks. I got into them this morning because I'm out of cookies. And I ate all the lace things, and I'm like, I got to get some more. They're like little snickerdoodles. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
All right. So for you with Wise and for this partnership and everything we're trying to do here, your story, like you had Easter bunnies out last week, right? I mean, we got Mother's Day around the corner. There's always like something happening that I'm going to be talking about that are they're real initiatives, but more than that, helping people like nutrition and eating better and just different things along the course of the year that you're always involved in. And I see you doing it out on social, and I'll be doing it now too.
Yeah, there's like I said, anybody can sell peas these days. Okay. But it's the ancillary stuff, taking care of your communities, taking care of the schools, the food pantries, the food bank, whether, right now we're running our big MDA campaign. We normally would do that Shamrock campaign in March, but, since it was delayed this year, we're just doing the Roundup campaign for MDA with a $50,000 goal, and those dollars stay locally. That's very important, Wise, that the money that stores raise stays local. And we've been part of MDA now for 5 years, and our money we raise sends kids with MD to camp, which normally costs $2,000 a summer. So we send about 30 kids every year to camp. But this year, with the pandemic, they're doing a second year in a row with a virtual camp.
I love that you're doing this, because MDA, since Jerry Lewis, we grew up with Jerry Lewis every year. Labor Day, you can't have a Labor Day without thinking about it.
This is a perfect example. That was a charity near and dear to the Mars family. And when they went out of business, they one of my DMs came to me and says, hey, MDA is going to lose a $50,000 sponsor, because Mars used to do a 2-day golf outing, which raised the money. So I said,
by the way, Mars always did the Heritage Fair, which is where this whole thing started, and Weis is doing it now too. So, right. I mean, there really is taking on these community things that are 50 years in the making, literally, right?
Yeah, you can't ignore it, because, we're thankful that the community embraced us when we put stores in those marketplaces. But, it's not just giving them good product, fresh product, good prices. I mean, that's all important. But they need to know that this big company cares about them. And, that has, I have a list of items in front of me that, I wrote out yesterday, and it was just so easy to have them just roll off, my pen. But I mean, I look at this list of everything that our Baltimore district is responsible for, and the money, we raise. There are so many people that have been the recipient of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just from the goodness of our customers, charity. And
every time I check out, you try to bump me up, 38 cents to give money away, right?
Yep. So in the first 5 days of the MDA Roundup, because we do a lot of these campaigns month after month, right? We have cause marketing campaigns, Nestor. That's not just MDA or St. Jude's. This month, just to clarify, this month of April is called the District Choice. So every district in the company can pick their own charity that is important to that district or that community that would benefit all the stores in that district. So like District 11 up through Frederick raises over $70,000 for St. Jude's, anywhere between $70,000 and $100,000 every year for St. Jude's. That is something that the customers wait for. District 14, our district here in Baltimore, does the MDA Shamrock campaign, and we've raised over this year will put us at $250,000 in 5 years that we raised for MDA. We just came off the I Foster campaign. Are you familiar with I Foster?
No, I'm not.
I Foster is dollars that stay locally. It was a chain-wide campaign. They're national, but locally the money stays local, and it helps kids in foster care, whether they need a device, clothing, or other programs that they could not otherwise afford. But a really big one we do at company-wide is the Paralyzed Veterans of America, PVA, and last year that raised $800,000. And part of that is their ever hear of Folds of Honor?
I have.
Okay, so we did that out as a district out at Calvert Hall the year before last. It was canceled last year, but you go and you stand for 13 minutes as a team up on their podiums. What a great event, and a really good experience. So I would recommend that if we do it this year, to anybody, just to get a little team. But that's just a sampling. Whether it's Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital Radiothon, which I'm sure that you're familiar with.
Absolutely.
With the local radio station, but a really great one.
I saved my wife's life twice too, so Hopkins, right. So I'm familiar with Hopkins.
Yeah, you have many great reasons to love it, but back in December, we did a really fun event with the COCAP Foundation, which is the Baltimore Ravens, Anthony Levine's foundation.
I love Levine. Levine's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. And, based on so one of the Baltimore City schools, we partner with COCAP, his foundation, and they had a school where they had a shopping spree. And this shopping spree is normally done at a Dick's. And then it was moved to another location. It was moved to Weis here in my store, but the pandemic just didn't allow it, and ended up back at their school. And what it is, they take their top 10% of kids that are, have the highest GPA, perfect attendance, and being on time, and completing all their schoolwork.
All the things that I never would have gotten done when I was in 8th grade, right?
I would have gotten this grade. So they brought these kids in, and we walked them around, and they got shoes that were pre-sized and pre-fitted for them. They got Wise hats, Frisbee, a lunch. They got all these water bottles, Ravens autographed footballs. Just a great event. And it's just nice to be part of that. And, that's where Wise, I believe, separates itself from the competition, because I'll say it again, anybody can sell peas, Nestor, but can you do it with a smile? Can you do it with giving back? Can you do it with engaging with your communities and getting them to love you? And I really think our customers love us. And that's why we've been so successful in our brand recently down here in Baltimore, since we picked up all these new stores, especially, the Mars stores that were converted. That has been a very positive step. And, you brought up the Dundalk Heritage Fair. I mean, that's something that we will never pull away from. And, actually some folks from Pennsylvania didn't know what the Heritage Fair was, and they were amazed to hear that it was the single largest consumption of beer in, over that weekend next to the Preakness, right?
Right. Yeah, yes.
So they said, is
guilty.
Yeah. So they came to me and said, is it worth for us to do this? And what's it all about? I'm like, oh my God, don't even think about not doing it, and write the check now. And, the community loves us for it. It is a fun time. And, it really makes you feel good that festival can keep going on, even though they don't have.
We had 38 special together. Does that sound right? Does that sound like the right show? Right.
Yep. And,
nice.
they're really bringing in some nice talent down there, but we do own that festival just like Mars did. And, we feel really good about it. We get a car and folks in the parade. I marched in that parade 4 years in a row after running a 6K just minutes before. So, we do the road race, we do the parade, we do the festival. It is a really fun time, and a good way to give back.
Well, I want to throw one little plug out here for something that I haven't done, because I've done a lot of things. I've picked against monkeys in March Madness. I've run through the streets in my underwear. I've done 30 ballparks in 30 days. I'm about to do 30 crab cakes in 30 days. But one thing I've never done, and I'm going to admit this, and I'm going to throw myself on the mercy of the whole Wise community here, is I have never, and this speaks to who I am as a person. I don't order things on Amazon. I don't order things online much at all. I buy hotel rooms and airlines and tickets online, I guess, but I don't buy stuff. I don't buy shoes, shirts. I don't buy stuff online. And everyone keeps telling me I got to order groceries online, then I'll be glad. And I'm like, I like driving out the full. I like seeing Rob. I like touching my lettuce. I definitely feel my limes. I'm that guy. I mean, I know during COVID, but if you want to make a margarita, you gotta. Julio taught me this. You have to have the right rind on the. You don't want a thick rind. It won't make the right margarita. So I have to touch them. But this being said, I'm going to order groceries online for the very first time. I'm probably going to make you sit with me and do it, because you're going to teach me. Somebody's going to have to teach me, because I need to be walked through all these computer things because I'm old. But I am going to order online, and you're going to do the shopping for me, and I'm going to curbside groceries one day. Not you, somebody you know. Maybe. I don't know. Somebody you know.
So, yeah, we do have a whole team, and it is a huge segment of our business going forward. I remember 20 years ago, I launched the first online supermarket in Baltimore. Very proud of that.
I
great to have
absolutely remember that because you had a lot of elderly customers in Highlandtown.
Yeah.
A lot of Polish neighbors, old school friends of ours that I grew up with. And my mom would have been that person at 98, right? That you would have loved to have brought my mom groceries instead of having her to worry about it, right?
Right. So, our store, there's a couple stores in our district that are tops in the company. We're always up there, as far as the most orders and dollars. But Nestor, during the pandemic, it just went crazy. For obvious reasons, people with kids or elderly people shopping for mom, people just didn't want to come in, the stores, and they felt safer that way. But it's a new way of life. Mom, kids have soccer practice, dance and baseball practice, and people have 2 jobs, and it's tough. Some people are working from home now and can't get out during the day, and it's just as easy to click and let us shop it. They pull up out front. We have a state-of-the-art platform for it. B, the fulfillment is on point, and the pickup of the groceries. You pull up in a nice blue shaded area. We have these beautiful skinned coolers and freezers.
I'm gonna feel all dirty once I do this, right? Like I'm gonna go on and click. It's gonna take me 10 minutes. I'm gonna buy what I want, and then I'm gonna think like, why wasn't I doing this all along, right? Like the first time I got the iPod, I had a friend who's like, I got this iPod. It's gonna change your life. I'm like, I don't need that. I got CDs. CDs are great. I've been using CDs. It's like having a flip phone.
Right.
I'm a man of convenience, Rob. You know this about me. I mean, I'm social and I like coming out and hanging out. And I love shopping lately. I like coming in the stores. I know where everything is. I feel at home at your store now,
the service is there for hundreds of people, because that's how many we do a week.
I'm always worried you're going to send me the wrong strawberries. I mean, I'm not lying. I like to look at my strawberries and gauge them a little bit.
Yeah, it's the big training point there is the personal shoppers. You shop as though you're shopping for yourself. If you wouldn't buy them, don't put them in the cart. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right. I tip well too. You let them know.
Okay.
Rob Santoni is here. It's always good to visit with you. We'll be visiting more often. All right, man. Take care of yourself out there. We'll see you. I'll be out. I'm almost out of groceries, dude. I mean, when I'm down to just blueberries. I'm out of raspberries. I'm out of strawberries. It's a good thing berries are on sale this month.
Okay.
It's a berry month.
I'll give you the hat.
I need a hat. And I call it the Bobby Nick box because Bobby Nick used to have all these props on his part. So I'm going to have hats and stuff like that. So bring on the hat. I'll see you in Fullerton. All right.
All right, see you now.
Rob Santoni, another wise conversation. We're going to be having a whole lot of those into the future. You can find me nasty at WNST.net. We are BaltimorePositive.com.